and we pretty much hand-built a team from all around the world to create a really, really amazing Need for Speed experience, and that's what Rivals is. So it's kind of, it's very cool, it's very fresh, it's very new. We had a lot of people think that it was Criterion making Need for Speed Rivals, but I guess that's a compliment, right? Because another team's doing it, but it's really good. So it's just good, and it's good. It's up on the screen now. We had a great press conference.
Oh yeah, and I remember this scene from the press conference yesterday. What struck me is just the environmental effects that are going on here, the rain and the way that and the winds, the way it just felt like it was really, the weather was a real factor.
Yeah, we're on Frostbite 3, so everybody's seen Battlefield. Looks amazing, and they have lots of particle effects we can use. The Frostbite 3 engine allows us to do huge vistas, cool water, cool rain effects. Art director David Taylor said he wanted to be the art direction for the game to be based on a force of nature. So, I've played quite a lot of driving games where I'm driving around and it's a nice sunny day like it is out in LA now, and it's taking a trip to the beach and it's stuff. But the hardest driving conditions are when it's a bit rainy, a bit stormy, and there's kind of particles and stuff flying around. So we thought that'd be pretty cool. We could really realize the visuals of that on next gen. So we went for it, and I think people reacted to that really well at the press conference.
They certainly did. You basically just answered a question from Robin on Twitter about weather cycles, and
hello Robin on Twitter.
Also curious about day-night cycles and Rivals racing at night. It seems like a good time for street racers.
Yeah, we have a full day-night cycle in the game. It just so happens we're showing like sunsets at the moment, or kind of late evening. But we have a full weather setup around the game setup in Redview County, which is a full open world, which is bigger than Most Wanted and bigger than Hot Pursuit, the two previous Need for Speed games. So it's a really huge road network. We have everything from sunny mountains to the stormy forest, the rain. We have sandy deserts. We have more rural kind of open plains. We have everything that's designed for driving your car really as fast as you can.
Did you get to go to all those environments to help scout them out and send you down to Morocco or something?
Where was that? I've never heard of that place. It's loosely based on kind of Californian, right? So we did PCH. I've driven a couple of times. And
that's quite a road.
And I just it's not really based on a real place, but it's not set in a real place, but it's based on those kind of feelings.
It's evocative of those places, yeah.
Evocative, good word. I like that.
Yeah, we like the vocab here at GameSpot. Zonehammer from the Twitch chat is curious about, obviously this is a game that embraces multiplayer. Will you be able to drop in and drop out of your friends' games? How does that sort of connectivity work?
Yeah, so the big,
it's pretty big.
The big feature for us. We talked a lot at the press conference and tried to show in a very limited time this new system, revolutionary new system we're bringing to Need for Speed called AllDrive, right? AllDrive destroys the line between single player and multiplayer. So you can you get home from work, you love playing games, you're going to go and play Need for Speed Rivals. You start playing as a racer, you'll be driving around in the world, you can pull up to an event start and press the button to start that in a completely new way than you have done before. And as you're racing through the world, I can come into your game, cop comes around the corner, you can see my gamer tag, you can see that's me, and you're playing through your single player experience, through your single player progression as either a cop or a racer, and I'm playing through my cop progression, my single player experience, but we're playing them in the world at exactly the same time. And when those experiences merge together, that's something that you've never played before, right? There are no lobbies or anything in this game. This is not a boot up the multiplayer, wait in a lobby, let's go. This is you start playing, I start playing, I can choose to help or hinder you based on whether or not I'm a cop or a racer.
And for players who maybe don't want a buddy screaming in off a side street and shunting them off to the side.
Yes.
Can you choose to just have your own little racing experience?
Yes, you can. We're a big believer in choice, right? So I think the default setting of the game is going to be open to your friends. But if you want to, you can go in. Maybe if you don't have any friends, I'm sure you had loads, but
so many. All of them.
If you want to go in and play solo, you can do that. Absolutely.
All right, that's cool. We were getting some questions here about car customization and the breadth of cars that you guys have in here. What is put it on the timeline of supercars or F1, put the car roster of Need for Speed Most Rivals in context for folks?
Okay, so first thing for us, big news for Need for Speed is that Ferrari's back. So Ferrari hasn't been in Need for Speed for 7 years, I think it is. So that was a big deal for us. So the car you get to drive at the demo at the show floor is a Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. Amazing car, sounds amazing, drives really well. There are other Ferraris in the game. We're kind of going for the more, super exotic.
Check.
It just went out. Oh, there you're back. Hey!
It's okay.
You were saying super exotic?
Super exotic. So we have, in the software we brought with us, you can play, Lamborghini Aventador, Porsche GT3. We have the Koenigsegg Agera R. You can actually play as a cop. So they're really kind of cars that go between 150 and 250 miles an hour really quite comfortably, because this game's all about, the clue's in the name, Need for Speed. Yep. They go really fast.
You are not going 75 miles an hour.
No, you're not cruising around in some of these, SUVs and some of these taxis I see driving around in LA. It's basically all, super shiny, super cool cars that are really aspirational.
That's pretty fun, and we've seen a fair amount of shiny cars from the new console launch lineups. By the way, that demo we were just watching, what system was that running on?
That was actually running on a PC.
On a PC.
But we have, we'll be launching the game on Xbox One and on PlayStation 4 later in the year. So, and they look pretty much the same as what you're seeing today, and they will only end up looking better. We still got a way to go. So we launched November 19th on current gen, on 360 and PS3 and also on PC. And the game is only going to get better in the amount of time that we have left. So it's going to look pretty good.
That's pretty nice. You guys definitely putting a lot of love into this Need for Speed. Jimmins in the Twitch chat is wondering about car tuning. I've talked about the cars you can select, but how can you customize your own car?
So you can personalize your car. You can choose the different color of the rims, different color of the paints. We have various decals that you can put on your car, so you can pretty much make it look how you want. But also we have, for people who played Most Wanted, we have modifications that you can add to your car, so you can tune your car to play in a certain way. We know people really like to do that, and we can also tune the pursuit tech that's added to your car. So it's not just about driving and doing bang bang with the cars.
Right.
People who played Hot Pursuit, everybody ended up calling them weapons. They weren't really weapons like machine guns or lasers or missiles or any of this stuff.
But you talk about spike strips.
Exactly. So you've played this stuff.
Yeah.
So spike strips, EMPs. The police can call in helicopters, can call in roadblocks. The racers can use jammers and EMPs and turbo. So we have that very finely crafted of what is the best skill set to give to these guys to create the best race and chase situation. So we're going to bring back some of the old favorites from Hot Pursuit, but we're going to do some new stuff as well. Stuff that you could really only do with the power of these new machines and really kind of go to town on that.
Well, speaking of the new machines, people have been asking, generally, pretty regularly with any game that comes up here about the new functionality that these new consoles are going to enable.
Yes.
And one of the questions revolve around the share button or the video sharing. And it seems like Rivals, that moment where you overtake or where you cause your opponent to crash. I mean, you guys have already, the series has a history of already building in those dramatic camera moments of car flipping over, you got busted, whatever. You guys building in some of that video sharing stuff as well?
So the video sharing comes for free on new machines, which is cool.
So it's just baked in there already.
Yeah, so I mean, we're finding that it's almost like the stage presentation that we did yesterday, because that has to be quite a controlled sequence, it's not as free-flowing as the stuff that we're showing in the live software, because when we've got 6 players up and running, driving around with a load of AI driving around as well, the unexpected moments that happen because you're throwing those guys together is, we as games creators, we don't plan them, they just happen through free play. So the ability to share those moments, which will be unique to every player, is great, right? It's not about us as game developers saying the only stuff that's interesting is when we choose to do a cutaway camera.
Yeah.
There's interesting stuff happening all the time, and the video sharing and the ease at which that's available on the new machines is great.
That's going to be a really cool way to let those sort of organic experiences come to light, and maybe you guys will see a thing or two that surprises you once it hits the store shelves.
In every game I've ever worked on, we always see stuff that we never designed in. We always say we design for chaos, right? So we design so the game won't break, but then what players do with it after that is completely up to them. So that's absolutely the game we're making.
Designed for chaos. It should say that on the back of your shirt there. I like that.
You can write it on later.
All right, folks, I'm just going to check here for one more question. Of course, monitoring the GameSpot chat. I'm switching over to the Twitch chat as well, where people are talking, but it's going to be Twitter where we grab our last question from, and the question comes from KSG Fluffy. Wondering about, back to those weather conditions and terrains, is picking the right car for the right situation going to be an important factor?
Yeah, I mean, the vehicle choice will ultimately dictate what you're going to do, right? So you can choose to play as a cop or you can choose to play as a racer, but we have heavier and lighter vehicles. So if you're going to go out in like a really high-end Ferrari, that's not going to do so well when it comes up against a heavy cop car. So like a Dodge Charger or something going up against that. So absolutely, the vehicle choice, the way that different vehicles handle the different terrain. Because of the way that we're modeling the physics in the game, if a car's really low and it goes off-road, it's not going to, it's going to bottom out and it's going to kind of not do so well. Whereas a car that's slightly higher, that's more, built for kind of, LA roads, bumpy on the freeway, they might be a bit better in certain situations. So it's absolutely down to, having the right cars in the game and just allowing the players to choose as many as they want to when they want to.